Welcome to Cannon Crue, a weekly podcast discussing the Charleston Battery. Your host Granit will be joined by other defenders of the fleet from the black and yellow supporters section, and together they will help fortify and conquer. They are the Cannon Crue.
Welcome to the Cannon Crue Podcast. I am Granit. I am joined by Patrick. Patrick, what's up?
What's going on? Late night?
Man, what you been doing? Late night. I know. Ryan has been out there carousing, and whatever he's doing. Ryan, tell us about your evening's endeavors.
Granit, it's great to be here. Won a game tonight against Somerville, West Ashley High School against Somerville. The Big Green Wave beat them 4-0.
You mean the green kind of swell, glassy, but
something like that.
Not motivated, something like it. Okay.
Yeah, unmotivated.
That's what you get for having a turf field, Somerville. That's what you get for having a turf field. Play on grass, like real men did. Okay. So you got to put your backup keeper in?
Yep. Everyone got playing minutes. Rotated keepers on JV as well, so it's always good to rotate them out and have them get minutes too. So it's nice.
So Patrick, you're abstaining from beer or just all alcohol in general?
All alcohol in general, except for Tuesday will be an exception, obviously.
Obviously. Why is Tuesday going to be an exception?
It's like, I don't know, the biggest game of the year. Just have to go and destroy PSG at home in London.
Fuck PSG.
Who is not going to win the Ligue 1 as an undefeated team because they just lost. So, current losing streak about to be extended.
A smackdown coming for them. A smackdown. Join us at Edmonds Oaks Brewing Company for Charleston. If you're wearing the other team's colors or any other team's colors, stay home.
Sound advice.
So let's talk about the Battery and the most recent match against the Indy 11. Is that what they're called?
Yep.
Because it's kind of like a limp 11 because my thought of the whole match is what a shit defense. Talk about people just walking, and they're only like 7 games in, and they're already walking. It's going to be a long season for them. Ryan, what did you think of the match?
Well, that's what kind of frustrated me in the beginning was that I was looking at this. I was thinking maybe moments before going to the match that, man, is Indy going to be a surprise team that's going to give us a run for our money and cost us 3 points early? Looking at their previous results, draw against North Carolina, they did pick up a win. And I was like, is this going to be a sneaky team? MD comes right in, puts 2 away early, and
we're not talking about that yet. Stop.
No.
Just your general thoughts.
I know.
We will examine the doctor in a minute.
But
okay,
yeah.
since Ryan can't help himself but to go on about his man crush with MD, Patrick, what was your general thoughts on the match?
That was good. I thought we had we just built off our last FC Tormenta win, and I thought we continued our dominating play and getting a lot of guys involved that needed to continue the form and kind of get this pace going so we can start building a winning streak here and get ready to bring it back home. So I thought the boys went out, did a great job, and finished what they needed to do. Move on.
Yeah, so we started a couple different not new players, but players don't get a whole lot of time. Blackstock and Apakanuno, and who else on? Laundry's on there, and
Klein.
Was Klein out there?
Eventually, he got on.
Eventually, I thought he started.
Yeah, and Arturo was out there for a little bit. So let's talk about the amazing first 8 minutes. Ryan, 3, 2, 1.
Whoa! Hold on.
Oh.
Get your hat on, because he can't only talk about one player in this. For those of you not watching and only listening, there's a very festive Technicolor Dreamcoat hat that just went on Granit's head.
It's the traditional Colombian farmer's hat that I bought at the what match did we go see, Ryan?
Colombia versus Uruguay.
Yeah, and some really cool dude was selling them out of a box for like $5.
Would you say
in the middle of the street.
traditional or eccentric?
Traditional? It says it in the label on the inside.
Well, that must be true.
It has to be true. So let's go back to the appointment we had, and we only had to wait. Unlike any other doctors on the face of the earth, we only had to wait how many minutes, Ryan?
I only had to wait 4 minutes.
4 minutes. Man, what kind of doctor is this guy?
He's speedy because he came back with a double after 8.
So let's talk about his first goal.
First goal, in my opinion, it was the setup. It was an amazing pass. Just chipped it, perfectly weighted, everything about it. Great vision by Torres to recognize that he had time and space awareness. He did his quick scan. The defense just dropped off and they walked off, as Pat was saying, earlier, like already, a couple minutes in, they were walking. And MD just slots it right past the keeper for an amazing goal, right up 1-0. And I think the build up and play after that, the battery didn't let up. They were goal hungry after that. They wanted to get another one quick.
Hey, it's tough. I think it's vital, and we talk about it all the time, getting that first goal, and you get it early, and you got to do the kill shots,
We
right?
haven't done that this season, though, much.
Yeah. But let's talk about that pass. If I remember right, Juan David got it turned, and MD had a step and a half, or at least 2 steps on the defender that was, I don't know if he was crocheting or his distraction, checking his phone or something like that, and just clinically put it in the back of the net. I mean, just nice and relaxed, and it was fantastic. Surgically put it back in the net. I don't know. What kind of doctor is he? A doctor of philosophy?
Ball doctor.
A ball doctor. A balls in the back of the net doctor. So, Ryan, let's talk about the next goal.
Next goal is just a gift, honestly. It's a worker's goal. It's a goal that comes from a person or a player who does not give up on the play until the ball is out of play, the whistle is blown, or the ball's in the back of the net. And that's exactly what MD did here. He honestly had no right going for it. Most players would have backed off or just said, yeah, it's going out like as it was, and gets a touch right to it and puts in the back of the net and makes it 2-0.
And how'd that get set up for him?
Was it a free kick from Malloy, and then Cal hit it?
No. Patrick, do you remember?
It was just wing play and kind of like a cross shot in, and did it? I don't fully remember.
It was
I was watching on a phone screen because I was at an Easter weekend at my in-laws, and hockey. They're a big hockey family, and hockey was on the main TV.
So what I remember is that defender tried to clear the ball out, did a real shit job, and I think Blackstock or somebody, or maybe Leland, headed it back, and Juan David just did this fantastic kind of crossover, and that's where we saw the finish in the back. It was amazing. Shit defending. Again, it's amazing that every time you look down or looks up or whatever, Juan David's by himself. So the ball was constantly going to him. And I was always working down that right side or down the middle. And it's like you would think somebody would go like, just stand next to him. Just stand next to him. Mark up on, do something. But you can't leave him there all by himself because he's up to no good.
Yep.
The other thing I want to point out is fantastic job by MD. But what kind of defense, what kind of system were they playing, Ryan? 3-4-3.
Yep, they were playing in a 3-4. They were playing in a 3-4-3. I was looking at this other stat where there's Indy players. There was 2 who I didn't recognize on the sheet. They didn't play in the previous league game, but they both made starts again, in their back line, and then they went to 3 in the back.
Yeah, I think I remember right. There was they had some injuries or something like that going
Yep.
on. But anyways, and that was at about 8:30 when we got that second goal, and then we kind of chilled out for a little bit.
Yeah, we relaxed, we stayed composed, and we went for a lot more possession. I felt like just knocked the ball about.
Let's back up because at one point I forgot. So Juan David does this great ball into the box, and Cal Jennings is there to head it right to the doctor. And that was a fantastic header, and I thought he was going to go for a goal, but just his awareness of who was open and who was where in the space right there in front of the net was fantastic.
It was class.
Okay, back to
I
your.
mean, let me just tack on to that one. I mean, he's in great positions, and this is what these attacking players around him who are in form create. I mean, we saw it with the last game with Klein, who I believe it was Rodriguez passed the ball to him, who was open in on goal. Keeper came out on him. He took the extra pass 5 yards away to MD, who got an open goal. So I won't say it's all because of the build-up play, because you have to be in those correct positions to put the ball in the back of the net. But when these guys are being so unselfish and they're dangerous goal-scoring threats themselves, it really creates an easier, more open opportunity. And we're starting to see it. I mean, this is MD's, fifth goal in 2 games?
Fifth goal in 2 games. That's all right. I guess a hat trick and a brace. He had to have a brace because his knee was a little tired from wearing all the hats. Ryan, tell us a little more about MD. Tell us more about MD. There's something special that happened this week. He was named what?
He was named Player of the Week, and not just Player of the. Well, no. Oh man, need to redo that. But he was named on the Team of the Week, and he was named Player of the Week.
Exactly. He did. I think he did it once last year, in week 17, and then he's week 7, and he's already been named once. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's a guy fighting for his position to be a day in, day out starter and not see the bench again. Yeah. And Marcanic isn't here anymore, so this may be our new consistent player of the month if he keeps playing this way. I mean, it's hard to argue with it. No one else is netting 5 goals in 2 games and then maybe 8 goals in 3 games.
So with him and Cal, they're like 2 different strikers to me. And I think they complement each other. Like Cal is always moving and really cutting diagonals and really moving defenders around. And MD does the work because he's a hard working son of a bitch. But he seems like he has different movement in front of the goal, the 18-yard box and out the top of the D. What are your thoughts?
I think it comes down to the playmaker behind the ball with having Aaron Malloy and Torres having this vision to find which one of these 2 guys is going to be open. Because as you mentioned, Granit, if Jennings is making these runs and pulling defenders with him, well, then you're going to have a striker 1v1. And MD is a true striker. He's got this goal-scoring presence. He somehow, in these awkward fall downs we saw last year, he still gets the goal and a dribbles past. And it's amazing. Only a true striker knows how to find these side-netted goals from an off chance. So we're going to see it with Cal too. MD's going to start getting a little more attention, and Cal's going to make these runs, and maybe only one guy's going to follow. But it's nice to have Rodriguez and Torres and Ikaza and Malloy and Klein, all these guys behind the ball who can see these passes. Maybe we talked about it week 1. They weren't really clicking. No one really clicked. They didn't look like a team. I think we're starting to see what they can do, and it's going to be really damaging to the league because we're not going to be just winning 1-0. We're going to be winning 3-4, 5-0.
Well, and then you add the stats too, just to throw a little stat out there, because Pat, I want to say something. You look at Cal Jennings, he's got in 6 games, he has 5 goals in USL. Then you look at MD Myers, who was injured in the beginning bit. He's got 2 starts and 1 sub, and he's got 3 goals already. He's got his brace, against Indy, and then he has his goal against Tampa. And then you add in his U.S. Open Cup where he's got the hat trick. So he's got 6 goals across 2 competitions so far in 4 games. 6 and 4, and then you got in 6 games you have 5 goals. I mean that's a great numbers right there. And I think I see the Eminem coming back again. I know it's not Eminem. What would you call this one? See
MJ.
What would you call this?
You
MJ.
figure it out. You got it. I believe in you.
You got it. MJ.
Oh my gosh, it's ring season.
So, let's talk. I'm going to say it again. Winter team's going to close down Torres. You give him any space, and he's putting these wonderful balls in. Because he's got a range on that foot, and teams keep leaving him open. So how do you lock him down? How do you cut off that service of that ball in there when Torres is just like roaming free in the back behind the forwards?
I mean, plain and simple, you can't do it when he roams to the central position. Because it's almost like, it seems like that's what the Battery are trying to do. Like this overloaded center midfield position. Because no one's just sprinting to go cover Torres's wing spot. I mean, that's going to be open as an outlet ball if we really need it. But it's almost like he goes central and it just sucks defenders to him where it creates these pockets of space. I mean, the one goal, he nutmegs the guy.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just talent. You don't just try it for no reason. Like he knew he was going to hit it between his legs. So you can't defend that, 1. But 2, I think him central is an even better position for him than on the wing. He's just so deadly, as you said, with the balls he plays and the vision he has. I think he's going to get a lot more assists than goals this year.
And that's all right. Keep feeding the machines up front, right? Now, the person that I don't want to say disappointed at first when I was watching the match, I didn't realize. I realized after the match why he seemed a little quiet was Arturo. I know the focus has kind of been on getting the ball down over to Juan David, but we got to spread out, and Arturo just seemed a little quiet. And then I realized he's been fouled like 7 times. Every time he got the ball, somebody's fouling him. He's counting them out. He's sitting on his butt because he got fouled. He's held up. He keeps holding up fingers, to the referee. But
I felt bad
second
because
half,
each time he got fouled, though, it was by a different player. So it's like, Mark, it's the 4th time you were fouled, but it's that player's first one. And
so fourth, they were just taking turns. Everybody got him, I think, except for the keeper.
Yep.
So speaking of referees, female referee, I don't know if you all realize this, because we talked about it a little bit after the game, about how impressive she was. And as a referee, not because she was a female, but just as a referee, she didn't take shit from anybody.
She stood on.
She was making great calls. Yeah, nobody was. You could see people trying to, get by with stuff, and she was having none of it. I didn't realize until doing a little research that she is actually FIFA qualified referee, which is a huge fucking deal. She's good. We need to have her every time playing center referee with us. And also inspiring young people, young ladies, young men to see what excellent looks like and emulate it.
Now, with her being FIFA qualified, could we potentially see her be a referee in the FIFA Club World Cup? Being in the US?
I think she's qualified to do it. Whether they, she's on that selection list, I don't know. I don't know how they select that, but yeah, we can see her a different thing. So it's I'd like to do like a little referee watch and see, the quality that, us looking at a referee and go like, oh, that's a quality one. No, that one's not a quality one. The referees that seem to struggle their qualifications, compared to other ones that don't struggle and have a command of the game like she does. So I was very impressed. One thing I kind of had a flashback at about 3/4 of the game is drill instructors, drill sergeants. The men are scary. They're around brown, stuff like that. But a female drill instructor or drill sergeant scares the bejeebus out of most people because they are just don't take any shit whatsoever. Not saying the men do, but female drill instructor, and that's what she kind of reminded me of, because she was getting in people's faces like, you ain't going to push past me. You go ahead and roll your eyes all you want to, and we're going to take care of business. She was quick on the yellow cards. When one was warranted, it wasn't like she had to think about it. She knows her shit, and I appreciate her being our center referee. And hopefully we get to see her a lot more this season as our center referee. Yeah. So let's talk about after halftime. The quiet Arturo at some point does something.
Absolute golazo.
I think he's just been watching battery game film for the past year of just like all these ridiculous wonder strikes we keep doing. And he's like, you know what? I gave out like 17 assists in the last game. Let me go ahead and take one of these.
No, it was picture perfect. It's everything that you want in a strike, in your space. The freedom, the skill play to get you that space and ability, the opportunity to have that shot.
And the angle that he took it from was not the best angle either, was it not?
No, but it was a great angle. It was a great angle watching that ball fully curl around the ball.
The only thing he was missing was just this beach blonde patch right on the top of his head.
Right here too.
So it's the first goal for Arturo this season. He had some red card issues, and I think earlier, is he injured for a little bit?
I think he picked up an injury for a game.
Yeah, and they get that silly red card, and so this is his first goal of the season, which it's an impressive one. I really enjoy that we have some players that really do some almost worldly goals almost every match, because it's exciting, very exciting.
Very exciting.
Yeah, you always have a chance of going to a battery home game or watching them at a bar with your buddies, and you may see goal of the week. I mean, this is what every week you just see 3 other random teams and then a battery name up there. It's great it's great to see week in, week out.
And last year alone, we had quite a few that made the ESPN top 10, not just goal of the week. It was like ESPN top 10 for a few weeks. Because
the other thing,
Torres's midfield goal was up there for quite a bit. That was
the other thing. Rodriguez was named to Team of the Week for Week 7.
Which he should be, but I mean, he had all 3 assists in the Open Cup game. I mean, this guy is, when he's on his game, he is lights out. Mm-hmm. It's almost like how we talk about Ikaza. When he is just on his game, it's hard to pick against him for the next match.
Yeah. Well, as long as Arturo's not doing like, kung fu fighting and karate chopping people in the neck and getting red cards, I roll my eyes.
Where was the referee for that game? Come on.
Referee?
Hey, so was the AR not the same referee that was center that gave him red card? I'll have to research that. Maybe he did that worldly just to show that, he's a better player than what a red card and a karate chop people might think of him. So, any other thoughts on the match?
No, I just thought it was a good win and a perfect warm-up for what's coming up this week.
Yeah, so we had a couple draws earlier this season, but these are the games that we need to be winning and winning big, and they went out there and did exactly what we needed to, what they needed to really, imprint how good we are. Because hopefully this is the beginning of the upward trend of our curve and going all the way up to the end of the season.
Yeah, dealing with the battery, you get 2 losses in March, and then going into April, battery on a hot streak a little bit. We're on a 4-game win streak. We're going to this last game of the month. Entire month of April could be shut out with wins for us.
So, Ryan, now is your time for your song. You know which one?
What's that?
The battery's on fire.
Oh, not yet. Not yet.
It always confuses him because he's always on fire.
He's always on fire. He hasn't been on fire yet this
Honestly, I
season.
was looking over here at my fireplace, and I thought my fireplace. Thanksgiving will never be the
So-
same again in this house.
So let's move on to one of my favorite drinks. Okay, maybe not, but they are kind of fun. The Jägermeister Cup. So who wants to tell us about this? Is their first time in here?
Yeah.
I think it's the only second season for it, right?
No,
Last
yeah,
year
first
it was just USL 1 teams. So what's the format like? Six group stages or six groups?
Yep, six
two
groups based off of region play, and there are roughly between 6 to 8 teams in each group. You play 2 home games, 2 away games. Teams with the most points advance out, and then you'll have knockouts, and the final is in October. I do not have the exact date, but I do know the final is in October. So
there's
what are you saying?
So the top team from each group goes up to the knockout stage, and there's 2 wild card teams that didn't move up that will move up, and they are selected based on how many goals they scored. Correct?
Is it not by point? Yes. Yeah, you're right. Yep,
Yeah.
you're correct.
I think another interesting thing I was looking at was no additional time. If it's tied at full time,
Yep.
there's no additional time, goes straight to PKs. But the points awarded based on who wins the PKs is 2 points to the winner and 1 point to the loser. So,
Similar to hockey. Yeah, it's like in hockey,
Yeah.
if you make it to overtime and if you lose, you still get a point.
another cool thing, yellow cards don't go on to the next round or something like that.
Don't be scared.
What was the other? In our group is Naples, Greenville, Miami, South Georgia Tormenta, and those fucking idiots from Tampa Bay, the Crowdies. So what's our chance to end up on top?
We have a really good chance. The team we're playing this weekend, FC Naples, new team in USL League One. They started out the year hot. They came out and won 6 straight, and then lost to Tampa Bay Rowdies 9-8 on pins in the U.S. Open, and then lost last week to Knoxville in the USL 1 League. So now on a 2-game losing streak. I think Battery can then take them out, who are currently on a 4-game winning streak.
Yeah, I mean, this should be a dominating display. Maybe a good chance to rotate a few guys in. Keep as much as the team as fresh as possible. Maybe the guys who subbed in last game, maybe they get the 60 minutes now and then get subbed off so some other guys can come on. But I mean, it should be exactly what we've seen in the past 2 games. It should just be a thrashing. Hopefully we get off to a hot start again. I don't see why we wouldn't. And I would think we can go ahead and just knock this one home as a 4-0 defeat for Naples.
Okay, you're on 4-0.
I mean, you've seen the play of the past 2 games. I don't know how you can say we're going to just all of a sudden stop scoring.
Sorry, I had technical.
So I've lost a little. I can my headphones went out. So you guys keep talking. I want to get my stuff going.
All right. Well,
But I'm going with a
Or maybe not.
3-1 win, and I think it's going to be a little harder. I think it's going to be a 1-1 at halftime. We come away with it later in the second half. I think in the very first half, it's going to be more about Naples' 12th man. It's going to be more about their home crowd, their atmosphere. If you look at the layout of their stadium, one of my friends, he's one of their emergency keepers, and he sent me videos of how they built their stadium, and it's similar to how the Batteries was, where we had, the south end, and you could be right next to the keeper. Theirs, it's a literal gate with no net there. So you can physically step onto the pitch and touch the keeper if you wanted to, or so on. So it's very personal. You're in everyone's space. It gets very rowdy. They get flares in there. It's a ruckus. So
Now,
excited.
quick question for you. Does your friend have to stand in a case behind glass with a hammer on a rope attached to it?
No, no.
He's the emergency keeper?
No, so as an emergency keeper, he in the U.S. Open Cup game where FC Naples played against Little Rock, Arkansas, he was the backup keeper for Little Rock, as Little Rock's backup keeper couldn't make the trip. So they only had one keeper traveling, and I guess for U.S. Open, you have to have 2 keepers on your roster for a match. I guess that's
so
things.
He's almost like the guy that the Masters has that fills in.
Yeah, literally, that's his job. Yeah, he said it's so fun.
But he may play. He could have a chance of playing.
Yeah, so the goal was like, maybe in like the 70th minute, he had to come in, make a sick penalty save, and then the next round, he got to play against, Messi and Inter Miami. But then we realized Inter Miami wasn't in the U.S. Open this year. So that was the hope, because it's by regional base, so that's probably who they would have played next.
Well, speaking of keepers, do you think we're going to switch it up for this game, or are we going to see a little more of Zamudio?
I hope we do change it up, only because, not because Luis is doing anything wrong. I think he's doing a great job. I just like to see Christian get more minutes, and I'm a big advocate on rotating keepers and keeping them fresh and giving your others minutes who deserve it, though. If they're stepping up in training, competing highly, I know it's extremely hard to rotate your keepers out in league play, but now you have 2 other competitions that you're currently in that you can give minutes for, Christian, or for Enzo, and I think it's gonna be good, and I hope Christian gets in. I really am pulling for him to start.
Now, you were saying something about him earlier before we hopped on. He had a little bit. Garner has a little interesting stat line for the Battery.
So, he's actually played 2 games. So he's in his 2 games for the Battery. I believe his goals ratio is we have scored 10 goals and have conceded 0 goals, while Christian has been protecting the net for the Battery.
So averaging 5 goals scored for us, and you predict only 3 for us in this game. Sad.
Well, I don't know if Christian's starting.
You think Enzo may get the nod? I would like to see him get out there. He's a good kid.
It depends on the way they travel and everything. Traveling from Indy and then now having traveled down to Naples the very next week, it's hard to see how much they would change up of their team, of the roster. Like, they're already wanting to do a good amount of change ups, as it's a different league. They're going into a little bit change up going against Naples, who's in League One. They can have the right to change up and give freedom to some players who need rest. Hope it's given to Christian, but I don't know.
Well, we'll see. We'll see who gets in. I think we'll rotate a little bit. Let's see if Granit can. He's still working on his end over there. Man, he is just beating the hell out of our technical director right now. He's got to give him some slack. Yeah. But we move on because we're professionals, Ryan, and that's what we do.
Move on.
So one player that we may see rotate in is our new signing, Rubio Ruben, Guatemalan forward, who we just when did we acquire him? On Thursday. So it's only been 24 hours. Had a little stint with the U.S. men's national team, youth system.
Yep.
Believe he's originally from Oregon, but he has Guatemalan parents and I believe Mexican parents. So he has now gone the route of Guatemala. Oh, he's back. He is alive.
That's a great point.
And he's out. Is this a signing we may be seeing in his very first game 2 days after joining the club?
You'd like to see it. it depends on where he's coming from. I know he's already at training sessions with the battery. Now him making the flight down to Naples, maybe they want to let him get settled in for the week. I would like to see him get some minutes. I don't see him starting. I could see him getting minutes, hopefully 15 to 20 minutes of playing time. I would love to see it. But I can also see them holding off and waiting until we host Hartford at home the next week. I see that being a very good first home debut for him, and that being a big crowd pleaser for everybody at the Battery, seeing our new forward coming into town.
Yeah, so him being a forward is kind of up in the air a little bit, right? So Pierman said after joining on Thursday, he said that he's, and I quote, an attacker who can play in a variety of roles out wide on either side or centrally in a variety of roles. So where is Rubio going to slot in? Is he going to be competing more with Rodriguez, Torres, MD, Cal, or is it kind of just an open market and he's going to rotate wherever he kind of see fit?
I think he's going to rotate where he sees fit, and I think he can also roll in with Ikaza or Arturo at Cam. I think he's got 4 positions he can slide in between. And when you add a guy with that type of versatility, that shows the longevity you're in for, right? The long run that you're playing, that you're in for all season long, and to have a player that could cover that many positions for you at a given moment, it's great to have.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we get to see him, even if we get a 10-minute stint as a sub. But who knows? Like you said, maybe we'll save it for the home game and we'll get a home match debut and get to see him in person for the first time instead of having to watch him on the TV screen. So, yeah. Do you have anything else, Ryan? I don't really think
I don't have anything else. Oh,
we pretty much covered it all. We got a new signing. We weren't scoring enough goals. We capped out. We're only at 4 goals, then 3 goals. So why not add another attacking player and let's go for 5? We haven't seen it yet. So
I like it. And let's go for that 5th win of the month. Let's shut out April and get ready for May.
Cool. Well, we'll figure out where we're going to be watching this game. There's a few feelers around for the new Cannon Crue watch party that we're going to try and get going. So
very excited about
next podcast. We'll definitely have more information, but like most things we do, we're not too sure. All right. Well, I'll leave some space at the end here for Granit to come back from his extended vacation and give you guys a few closing thoughts. Till next time.
Adios. Okay, Patrick. My sound is back, so I can hear the world now. And in my absence, the 2 Fooligans forgot a couple of things. 1, kickoff, 7 o'clock to Naples, ESPN Plus, and we're thinking about going out. Maybe watching it somewhere. I don't think there's an official Battery watch party, but we're looking for some place, and we haven't decided yet. And when we do, we'll shoot it on Instagram or something like that, and everyone want to meet up with us. Be more than happy to let you buy us a beer. Well, Patrick, of course not, but a near beer, Athletic.
Yeah, they are still delicious. We're thinking maybe near the stadium, so if anyone has other suggestions, shoot them over to the Cannon Crue's Instagram, or is there a Twitter? Who knows?
There's
Just
Twitter,
do Instagram.
I'm not as good at Twitter, but if you want to, go ahead and shoot an email at
Granit
at cannoncrew.com. I'll take any and all suggestions. Okay, I'm done. You done?
Yeah. Up the battery. Let's finish this Jägermeister Cup out in style. Get a win.
Absolutely. Little green stuff. See ya.